Shocking split. 80% of Liberal MPs refuse to condemn anti-Semitism. An open letter signed by only 32 of 169 Liberal MPs has exposed deep divisions within the party. Led by Mount Royal MP Anthony Housefather, it calls for urgent action against rising anti-Semitism in Canada, highlighting incidents like the stabbing of a Jewish woman in Ottawa. Jewish Canadians, just over 1% of the population, account for 70% of religious-based hate crimes. The letter references previous reports and forums, urging swift protections around schools, community centers, and places of worship. While the letter's content is reasonable, the broader Liberal caucus largely remained silent, with nearly 80% of MPs not signing. Cabinet members typically avoid such initiatives, but 98 backbench MPs opted out, signaling internal disagreement or indifference. This lack of support raises concerns about party unity, public safety, and Prime Minister Mark Carney's ability to effectively lead and unify his caucus. Anthony Housefather's role complicates matters. Appointed last year as the Liberal government's special advisor on Jewish community relations and anti-Semitism, his efforts have shown little tangible impact. Despite warnings and formal committee recommendations, enforcement and policy changes have lagged. Housefather's past comments on Canada's stance on Israel and political positioning with constituents raised doubts about the urgency and effectiveness of his advocacy, leaving many Jewish Canadians skeptical of his sincerity. The fractured Liberal response comes at a politically sensitive moment. Conservatives are likely to exploit these divisions, highlighting the party's failure to act decisively against anti-Semitism. The open letter exposed internal weaknesses, showing that formal commitments and public statements have not translated into action. Despite Carney's leadership, the Liberals mirror past structural issues, including internal dissent, inconsistent enforcement, and unclear messaging on key issues. The broader political implication is clear. Carney now faces a fractured party just as Parliament resumes, with anti-Semitism and public safety positioned as focal points of opposition criticism. Conservatives are likely to hold the Liberals accountable for both inaction and internal disunity, using these failures to frame the narrative leading into future elections. This situation underscores the challenge of leadership in a party still grappling with deep divisions, conflicting priorities, and skepticism from both the public and key minority communities. In sum, the open letter was meant to reaffirm a commitment to combating hate, yet it has exposed the fragility of Carney's caucus and the Liberals' difficulty in translating intentions into action. The lack of unanimous support, combined with past inaction by key figures like Housefather, leaves the party vulnerable to political attacks and public criticism. As Canada approaches critical legislative sessions, the fractured Liberal response highlights both the urgency of addressing anti-Semitism and the broader challenges of maintaining party unity in a divided political landscape. The rise in anti-Semitic incidents across Canada has been alarming. Statistics Canada data indicates an 82% increase in reported hate crimes targeting Jewish Canadians from 2022 to 2023. This surge has been attributed to various factors, including global geopolitical tensions and domestic political rhetoric. Jewish Canadians, who make up a small fraction of the population, have become the most targeted religious group for hate crimes, a situation that has raised serious concerns within the community and among policymakers. The federal government's response to this crisis has been under scrutiny. While there have been public condemnations and commitments to combat anti-Semitism, critics argue that these statements have not been backed by concrete actions. The delay in implementing recommendations from parliamentary committees and the lack of a coordinated national strategy have been points of contention. This perceived inaction has eroded public trust and has been exploited by opposition parties to question the government's commitment to protecting minority communities. Prime Minister Mark Carney, who assumed office in March 2025, faces the challenge of unifying his party and delivering on promises to combat hate and discrimination. His leadership is being tested as divisions within the Liberal caucus become more apparent. The failure to address anti-Semitism effectively could have long-term implications for the party's credibility and electoral prospects. Carney's ability to navigate these internal conflicts and present a united front will be crucial in determining the government's future direction. The political landscape in Canada is increasingly polarized, with issues like anti-Semitism becoming flashpoints for broader ideological battles. The Liberals' internal divisions on this issue reflect deeper ideological rifts within the party. Some members advocate for a more assertive stance against hate, while others are hesitant, citing concerns about political fallout or the potential to alienate certain voter bases. This fragmentation complicates efforts to formulate a cohesive and effective policy response. Public opinion on the government's handling of anti-Semitism is mixed. While many Canadians support measures to combat hate and discrimination, there is skepticism about the government's ability to implement meaningful change. The perception that political considerations are influencing policy decisions has led to a decline in public confidence. For the government to regain trust, it will need to demonstrate a clear commitment to action and accountability. The Jewish community in Canada is calling for more than just symbolic gestures. They seek tangible measures that will ensure their safety and dignity. This includes stronger legal protections, better enforcement of hate crime laws, and educational initiatives to combat anti-Semitic attitudes. Community leaders emphasize the importance of political leaders taking a firm stand against hate and working collaboratively to create a more inclusive society. The international context also plays a role in shaping Canada's approach to anti-Semitism. Global events, such as conflicts in the Middle East, have sometimes been used to justify or excuse anti-Semitic behavior. Canadian leaders must navigate these complex dynamics carefully, ensuring that their responses are measured and do not inadvertently fuel further hatred. A balanced approach that condemns hate unequivocally while promoting understanding is essential. Looking ahead, the government's ability to address anti-Semitism will be a litmus test for its broader commitment to human rights and social justice. Success will require not only political will but also a concerted effort from all levels of government, civil society, and the public. By working together, Canada can move towards a future where all citizens, regardless of their background, can live free from fear and discrimination. In conclusion, the rise in anti-Semitism is alarming, but it has also spurred action. The Liberal MPs' open letter serves as a crucial call to combat hate through collective effort and commitment. Though the path forward is challenging, determination and solidarity can ensure Canada upholds its values of inclusivity, safety, and respect for all citizens.